Please repeat with me the prayer for world peace. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om peace and love. Om peace and health. Om peace and enlightenment. So today I thought I'd talk about thought power. Everybody thinks, right? Okay. Do you know that your mind is a wireless transmitter? Do you know that? A saint that with peace, harmony, and spiritual thoughts will affect, and they send that energy out, and that includes you. It's not just a saint, but a real saint will send that energy out, and those thoughts travel very quickly into the world and produce similar thoughts of harmony and peace in others. Did you realize that? You have the same effect. All right? The person full of jealousy, hatred, anger, etc., will also send out energy and will affect people. So your thoughts are not your private property. You thought your thoughts were private property. And you thought your thoughts, you weren't being affected by others. Ha ha ha. No, you're not. You are being affected by other people's thinking. The minute you have a thought, you attract similar thoughts to it. So if you're depressed, you will. Have you ever been around a depressed person?
Yes.
Yeah. You go around them, you're going to go, I'm going to cheer them up. Before you know it, you're walking around. You get depressed. Yeah, our thoughts, we need to take our thoughts really seriously and monitor them. And you already, most of the thoughts we have in there, they're in the mental body. They come from our subconscious mind. And they keep repeating over and over and over. And we don't even know they're there. They're just hanging around. They could have come from previous lifetimes. They could have come from now. But there are many thoughts that we're thinking constantly over and over when our mind is idle. Because remember, the mind must think. It cannot be quiet. So when you don't have anything to do and you're not putting your mind to anything, then the mind goes into its own stuff. And that's usually the same stuff over and over. And the more you think of the same stuff, the more you make a groove. Every thought we have makes a groove in the mind. All right? We now call them neural pathways. I like to think of them as a groove. Neural pathways are like up there. No, it's a groove. And the more you think about it, the more you make that groove. And so the more the groove is deeper, the easier it is to flow in. Like water flows to the lowest level, similarly our thoughts flow to the lowest level. So it's very important. Okay? And when you came to this world, we call them some scars. You already have a whole bunch of thoughts you came with, thought that you have already had from previous lives. Every child is different. Every person is different when they're born. They're even different in the womb. Okay? So you come with a whole set of impressions. And we don't even know they're there. They're in our subconscious. So becoming aware of what we're thinking is very, very important. All of our personal tendencies have a past. And all of our actions create a future. So whatever you were thinking will create a future. Now, how do we think? Well, the first thing that happens is you have a desire, right? And that creates a thought process. When we have a thought and we have a desire of an emotional feeling, on top of that, that thought will have to come into fruition. Maybe not now, but it can at some future date. It might not even come into fruition in this lifetime. But things like love is a very powerful emotional thing, that will come into fruition. But hatred as well. That's a very powerful emotion, and it will come into fruition. With other words, if you have hatred or dislike anyone, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're hurting yourself tremendously because you're attracting similar thoughts. And so you will compound whatever thought you have. That's the idea of birds of the same feather fly together, or whatever that saying is. Okay? That's the same thing. And so we have the chain of cause and effect, the three qualities, a desire, a thought, and that creates an activity. So those are the three things that you have to really think about. That is your thought that you are thinking. Do you want that to become a desire and an activity? Be careful. That's what I'm trying to say. Because every thought and every action causes the destiny, our destiny. So you think that the destiny that you have is due to your mom. No, it's due to you. Mom you decided to help you along and give birth to you. Okay? Similarly, all thoughts affect every cell in your physical vessel. Every cell. We've been saying that for centuries, the yogis. But Candace Pert in the 1980s, finally, she was a neuroscientist, validated it. Every cell has a neurotransmitter. And your mind is full of neurotransmitters. Whatever you are thinking, your toe knows. Isn't that interesting? Everything you're thinking, the whole body knows. All right? Thoughts of worry and thoughts of fear poison your body. Thoughts of hatred poison the body. Thoughts of love, etc., enhance the body. So by worry, by thoughts of hatred, and so forth, we are actually creating diseases. Are you aware that your thoughts can create a disease? Okay. So be very careful. Not every disease is due to thoughts. Some come with karmic consequences, etc. But be careful. Vitality, love, joy, especially joy, heals. Healthy joy heals, because joy is an open heart. When you have an open heart, a healthy joy, it heals. It heals the body. And you have spontaneous healing because people have changed the thought process. Also, in the 60s, they did a lot of studies, and it was like there was a young man, a boy. He was about 12, 14 or whatever, and he had a tumor. And he started watching funny movies. And then also he started thinking he's going to shoot the tumor to death. And he did this, and he was in the hospital, and they saw the darn thing shrinking. It was amazing. Don't underestimate your thoughts. Our main amount of time we spend thinking is we are not aware of. Are you aware of that? 80% of the time, we are not aware of our thoughts. Very difficult. Now, when the body follows the mind, and we talked about the depressed. When you're depressed, your body feels sluggish, right? When you're happy, you're bouncing. Okay? So the body follows the mind. So it's not that difficult to understand. You have to start looking at these things. It's very important. All of our thoughts are like magnets. They go out of us with an infinity sign, the vibration, because thoughts are nothing but a vibration. We're nothing but a vibration. But our thoughts are a vibration. And it goes out like an infinity sign, picks up similar thoughts, and comes right back. So we're magnetic. That's why when people, that's why we're very careful of who you hang around with. Very important. Because you'll just pick up the qualities of the people around you. Be very careful. Whatever you want to be around people that have that kind of quality. Okay. And you know that thoughts are in your physical body. You can tell by looking at a person what they're kind of thinking. The facial expressions, right? Don't they tell you what they're kind of thinking? They tell you they have fear, or they have love, or they have tension, or whatever. It tells you. It's there. So it's I want you to not think that I want you to think that you have the power. I want you to become and get the idea that I have power over my life. But to have power over your life, you need to take power over your thoughts. And the definition of yoga is what? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Complete control over the mind waves. Because that's how you have power. Now, when we have illnesses and so forth, we have to take our power back and start working with a doctor. That doesn't mean you go, no doctor and I can heal myself. That's not what I'm talking about. But many times, and I've worked in hospitals, many times the doctor will say, I can't heal this person. I can't do anything. They don't have a will to live. They are not willing to live. Okay? So you have to work with your illnesses. You have to work with everything. You have to work for your health. Physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. You can, and then Louise Hay, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, created a book. You can heal your body. Okay, and she had little phrases that you could say. They work, but only if you had the emotion behind it. Saying something over and over doesn't make a change. If you have an emotion behind it, it makes a change. It becomes powerful. So any thought you want to manifest, you have to put an emotion behind it. Not just say, I'm going to be healthy. I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. And not feel it. You have to feel it. And whatever you feel, you will manifest. Know that. Whatever you feel, you will manifest. Maybe not right now, but you will. Now, that mental talk or mental images, or the combination of two that we have in our physical body, our minds, those are the things that you want to start looking at through mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness means being aware of what you're doing. Half the time, you come home and you throw the keys somewhere, and then you don't know where they are because you weren't mindful. If you're mindful, you know exactly where you put them, and your mind will know. Or we get up in the morning, and we brush our teeth because we've done it 100 times, and we're not mindful. We're thinking about something else. Or we're taking in the shower, we're planning the whole day, rather than being aware of the water flowing through, of the experience. We're not mindful. Mindfulness means being aware of this moment. This is how you get control over the mind. And if you're a student and if you want to go further, start practicing mindfulness, because also, when your mind is in mindfulness, it comes into a certain vibration. And any time the mind is in that vibration, it will absorb what is being taught. Interesting, isn't it? So, think about that. Now, once we are aware of our conscious thoughts, we now also have to become aware of our subconscious thoughts. Now, how do we do that? They're subconscious. They're not in our conscious. So how do we get there? When you are sitting for meditation or sitting in silence, then there is this nagging in the back. It's a undercurrent, subtle undercurrents. There's very subtle undercurrents, and you will feel them. Only when you are in silence will you feel them. That's why sitting for meditation is very important. You meditate or not, I don't care, but sit for it. Because you begin to understand what are the undercurrents that are hiding and making my life miserable. These are very subtle undercurrents, and whatever you feel at that particular time, know that's coming from the subconscious. Bring it up, bring light to it, understand it, and it will go away. What we keep suppressed, what we keep under the carpet we don't see, no, you want to bring it up. And that's why sitting in silence every day is very important. You might not wish to meditate, but you can have your cup of tea or cup of coffee in total silence without your mind going 100 places. Just being in the moment. Because meditation is being in the moment. All right? So, and usually we have what they call, I forgot what he calls it, about a dozen thought patterns that we keep revolving back and forth. What did he call that? It's funny that he calls it.
Circular?
These thoughts run through our mind being consciously engaged. They run, now all your thoughts run in a circle. Circular pattern. So, think of this. Think of and you hear me saying it many times, but that's the best way. Think of a pond, and I throw a pebble in, and the waves go out, right? Now, the only time they stop is when they get to the edge of the pond, and they keep on going. Our mind is the same way. Once it gets its hold of a thought unconsciously, and it goes around in the same circle. Same thing, over and over and over, until you forcefully stop it. Forcefully. That is the important part. So if you are aware of your thoughts, you can see that you're going in a repetitive manner. You go, get out of here, I don't want you. And it will stop. Okay? Otherwise, you're creating deeper grooves for it to flow into, and it becomes more of a pattern for you to keep repeating that. So then, many times, I do this out of fun, but you're in a lecture now. People are sitting and they're just looking around, and I go, what are you thinking about? And they go, I don't know, because we don't know. Many times we're just sitting around and we have no idea what we're thinking about. But the mind can never be idle, so we must be thinking of something. All right? Okay. If you want to change your life, if you want to achieve anything in health, education, finances, family, whatever, become aware of your emotions, of your thoughts, and change your thoughts, and you can change your life. If you have a trajectory of your life that you are not happy with, you can change your life by becoming aware of your mind. That is so important. This is what yoga really is all about. Becoming aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts make your life. You have created your life with your thoughts. You will create future life with your thoughts. So it's very, very important. If there is a saying, if you really, really understood how powerful your thoughts were, you'd be afraid to think. You'll be afraid to think. Some people are creating the same lifestyle over and over, and they want to change. They'll change a circumstance, but the same thing happens. They'll change a partner, but the same thing happens. They'll change a job, but the same thing happens. That's because the mind hasn't changed. Circumstances will change, but if the mind doesn't change, the same thing will happen again. So be careful. When you are dissatisfied with something in your life and you want to make a change, start with the mind first. Not with moving from one place to another, from one partner to another, from one job to another. None of that. You start with your mind first. And then you will be surprised, because Mother Nature will automatically lead you into a different direction. It comes automatically. So, I'm going to end this with for you to understand how powerful you are. According to all the traditions, religious traditions, they say God is omnipresent, right? They all say it. What does that mean? Omnipresent, everywhere. God is everywhere. God is in here, God is in here. If God is, and if we are made in the image of the Lord, which is another phrase that they say, we have power to create. Thank God we're not pure enough to create so much, but we have created our life. We are that powerful. Your mind is creating the life that you have, the life that you will have. So be careful. If you don't think you have that power, remember You are made in the image of God. And on our last year's newsletter, I printed a message by my guru, my yogashaktiny, and she says, everybody is a little Shiva, everybody is a little Krishna, everybody is a little Christ, because we have that kind of power. And we are wasting it by having our mind not under control. It is most important. The reason you do hatha yoga is to get the mind under control so that your nervous system feels happier, that your body feels happier. That's why you do hatha yoga, so that you can start getting your mind under control. Remember, there's a very old saying. When a saint sits in the Himalayas all by himself and meditates on peace, that, because his mind is powerful, because it's a saint, that is more powerful than an atomic bomb. Think about that. And this has been written in the scriptures for centuries that we study. Okay? Think about that. That is unbelievable. Now, if you ever had a pure mind of getting, and we say that to our children, whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve. Just make it happen. Go for it. Right? Don't we say that? Whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve. But their mind has to go that way. Yes, it's true. But you have to encourage them to go that way. You have to get their mind to focus that way, and they can achieve it. Similarly, you and I can do that. And when we're older, we have more junk in the mind that we need to get rid of. Okay? So, with that, I will close this lecture, and then I'll have, for you guys, I'll have questions and answers. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.